afternoon, my master, and good afternoon, everyone. I want to talk about summary PDF novel, The Chronicles of Narnia. This PDF novel have 7 chapters. For number 1 chapter, I want talk about summary: The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Summary: Narnia discovered. As World War II unfolds, 4 siblings are sent to the safety of the countryside to escape the air raids of London. Peter Pevensie, Susan Pevensie, Edmund Pevensie, and Lucy Pevensie arrive at the grand manor of Professor Diggory Creaker. As they explore the house, Lucy, the youngest, steps into a massive wardrobe tucked away in spare room. Inside the wardrobe, she discovers the magical realm of Narnia, a wintry land of talking animals, tree spirits, and other fantastical creatures. She soon meets a tumnus, a faun standing near a glowing lamppost in the middle of the forest. He invites her for tea and allows her to sleep with the mystical flute. Unknown to Lucy, he plans to turn her over to the White Witch, who is ever watchful for trespassing humans. Sons of Adam and daughter of Eve, Lucy charms Tumnus. However, and his conscience gets the better of him. He hustles her back to the safety of her own world before the witch can capture her. Lucy emerges from the wardrobe, excited to share her adventure with her siblings, but they find her tale too far-fetched to believe. Since literally no time has passed and honest Lucy is devastated. Some days later, Lucy enters the wardrobe to visit Tumnus, and this time Edmund sneaks in behind her. On inside, he is astonished to discover that Lucy was telling the truth about Narnia. Before he can find her to apologize, however, a grand sleigh arrives, pulled, buried there and driven by a dwarf. Its passenger calls herself the Queen of Narnia. Upon discovering a human boy in her realm, the Queen beguiles Edmund with soft-spoken lies, flattery, and enchanted confections. As Edmund gorges on bewitched Turkish delight, he tells Lucy the Buddhist information about his siblings, as well as Lucy's association with the faun Tumnus. The Queen promises to make Edmund king of Narnia one day, but only if he will return to Narnia with his 3 siblings and bring them to her. She points out the direction of her home so that Edmund can find her when he returns in the driveway. Lucy arrives moments after the Queen's departure, thrilled to see her brother who now can corroborate her story with their skeptical siblings. She warns him about the White Witch, who is head across the land by all god creatures and who has cast a spell over Narnia so that it is always winter but it never gets to be Christmas. Edmund realizes Lucy is describing the woman he just encountered, the so-called Queen of Narnia. Still longing for more of the bewitched candy, however, he dismisses her warning, declaring previously, "You can't always believe what faun says." As they return to their own world, to the wardrobe, Edmund stews over having to admit Lucy was was right to his sibling. We will surely. I'll be on the side of the fawns and the animals, while he himself is already more than half on the side of the witch. On back home, Edmund quickly denies the visit to Narnia ever happened, leaving Lucy in tears. Peter angrily accuses him of toying with young Lucy out of spite, and Peter and Susan begin to worry that Lucy has truly lost her mind. Desperate over her advice, the kind friends of the Professor Diggory Kirk, who much to their surprise takes Lucy's side. "How do you know," he asks, "that your sister's story is not true? She is clearly not mad," he states, "nor does she have a story of telling lies, unlike Edmund. And therefore she must be telling the truth." Unable to come to a logical conclusion they can accept, the children let the matter drop. Trouble brewing in Narnia. One morning, not long thereafter, the children are forced to hide in the wardrobe in order to avoid the starved housekeeper Mrs. McCready and a party of visitors who are touring the mansion. They find themselves in Narnia, where asleep of the tongue, Edmund reveals that he has in fact visited Narnia before. Disgusted, Peter calls him out as a liar and likens him to some poisonous little beast, and Edmund greatly vows to pay his stuck up, self-satisfied, self-satisfied siblings. The four set off through the snow for Tumnus' home, only to find it ransacked, and found arrested for treason against the White Witch. Feeling responsible, Lucy insists the child to rescue Tumnus, and the others reluctantly agree. With knowledge on where to begin, the children follow a clever-looking robin into the forest, where they encounter Mr. Beaver, who spirits them away to his dam on a frozen river. Once safely inside, Mr. Beaver discloses that Tumnus has been taken to the White Witch house, lamenting that few who enter her home ever come out again. Mr. Beaver prepares a hot meal for the cold, famished crew, and after dinner, Mr. Beaver tells of Aslan the lion, the lord of the whole wood, who has returned to Narnia after a long absence. He'll put all to rights, Mr. Beaver assures them, revealing key prophecies to the children. Winter will end when Aslan returns, and the evil queen's reign will topple. When Adam's flesh and Adam's bone sits at Cair Paravel in Throne, the four thrones of Castle Cair Paravel await the arrival of two sons of Adam and two daughters of Eve, and surely this must be Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. Mr. Beaver says the children are to meet Aslan at the stone table as soon as possible, and Aslan will have them rescue Tumnus. Somewhere in the middle of this revelation, Edmund slips away into the whirling snowstorm outside. Mr. Beaver knows instantly that he's gone to her, to the White Witch. He has betrayed us all. Meanwhile, Edmund arrives at the witch house, where he encounters an early courtyard of lifelike status. Noble creatures. The witch has turned the stone with her magic wand. He is escorted to the witch by a talking wolf, Mulgrim, the chief of the street police. The witch is enraged that Edmund has come without his sibling at Edmund, and Edmund spills his guts about his siblings. Mr. and Mrs. Beaver and their plans to rendezvous with Aslan at the stone tables. The tide turns. Mr. and Mrs. Beaver, Peter, Susan, and Lucy quickly gather supplies and flee the cozy den. Fearing the arrival of the police at any moment, they set out to find Aslan in a race against the White Witch to the stone table where the lordly lion waits. In the dark of night, they take refuge in a hidden cave and sink into exhausted sleep. They awaken to the sound of jingling bells and are delighted to find Father Christmas has arrived. He gives the children weapons for the upcoming battle, and to Lucy, he gives a precious bottle of gargle that heals all wounds. Cheered by the advent of Christmas, a clear sign the witch power is waning, the party once again embarks to find Aslan. Edmund, on the other, has been having a most disappointing time at the witch home, where he is treated with contempt and giving nothing but stale dry bread to eat. The witch sends Mulgrim to gather his pack of wolves and raid the bravest them till they arrive to an empty house. The witch, the dwarf, and Edmund, who knows is clearly a prisoner, race in the sleigh through the snow right toward the stone table. As morning breaks, they come upon a merry party of animals feasting on plum pudding, a gift from Father Christmas. Infuriated, the witch raises her wand to blast the poor creatures. Edmund pleads with the witch but cannot stop her from turning them to stone. After which, she strikes him viciously. For the first time in the story, Edmund feels sympathy for someone beside himself. They continue, but as winter loses its hold on the land, the snow begins to melt and the sleigh can go no farther. Edmund's hands are tied behind his back, and he is forced marched forward as spring blooms about them. The Triumph of Aslan. The Triumph of Aslan. Mr. and Mrs. Beaver and the three children arrive at Aslan camp, atop a hill on which the stone table rests, a great grim slab of grey stone supported on four upright stones. Crowds of animals, 3 women and 1 woman, dryads and naiads, centaurs and others have rallied in support, and Aslan receives the children, who are awed by his fearsome, magnificent presence. As the great lion shows Peter the castle crier parable in the distance, where you are to be king. A strange noise cuts through the calm. It is the horn given to Susan by Father Christmas to summon help in times of crisis. Peter races to his sister, who stands up a tree with Mulgrim's teeth snapping at her heels. On thrust of Peter's sword falls the beast, As another wolf escapes into the forest, Aslan dispatches a party of warriors to hunt them down, for surely they will be returning to their mistress. Now is your chance to find the witch and rescue the fourth son of Adam, Aslan cries. Then Aslan knights Peter as Sir Peter Wolf's band for his valor and tells him to never forget to clean his sword. Back in the forest, the witch and dwarf grimly speculate that the children must have already reached the stone table by now. The witch decides to thwart the prophecy of the four thrones by killing Edmund on the spot. Even though the stone table is the proper place. That is where it has always been done before, she says. Just then, the wolf who escaped Aslan's encampment rushes in and warns the witch of the approaching army, but she refuses to flee. She charges the wolf to gather her own force together to stand and fight. The dwarf ties Edmund, who is too exhausted to even struggle, to a tree, and the witch readies her stone knife to cut his throat. Suddenly, a horde of creatures thunders onto the scene and cuts Edmund's bonds. It is the rescue party sent by Aslan. The witch and the dwarf disappear in the confusion, and Edmund is brought safely to camp. After a long, somber conversation with Aslan, Edmund humbly makes peace with his siblings, who are relieved their brother is safe at last. The dwarf then arrives and requests an audience with Aslan for the White Witch. He agrees, and the witch emerges from the woods. Unarmed, she calls out Edmund as a traitor and claims the right to kill him, a right ensured to her by the deep magic that was woven into the world since the dawn of time. Aslan draws her aside in private conversation, where they make a great agreement. The crowd rejoices when the witch relinquishes her claim on Edmund, a look of fierce joy on her face. But Aslan has made her a promise, and she strides away in triumph. That same day, Aslan walks Peter through strategies for the upcoming battle, stating that he himself can't promise to be on hand for the fight. The lion's mood is somber throughout the day, and later that night, Susan and Lucy see him stealing away from camp. When they follow him through the woods, he senses the presence and allows them to continue onward with him, for I shall be glad of company tonight. As they approach the hill where the stone table sits, Aslan leaves the girls behind, cautioning them that whatever happens, do not let yourselves be seen. He bids farewell, and the girls weep without knowing exactly why. Awaiting Aslan on the hill is the witch and her throng of evil creatures, who tie Aslan to the stone table and torment him cruelly. Aslan offers no resistance, while they hurt and humiliate him, and the witch glows the head that he has made Narnia hers forever. You have lost your own life, and you have not saved his. She snared just before she plunges her knife into Aslan's body, killing him. The gleeful horde of ghosts and creatures depart to hunt down Aslan's army, leaving Lucy and Susan to weep over his body. Little do they know, however, that there is an even deeper magic in action from before the dawn of time. As dawn brightens the sky, the stone table cracks into an Aslan deepers, whole in harder than ever. The lion has overcome death by a wondrous ride through the forest. Death by freely offering himself a willing victim who had committed treachery in the place of the traitor Edmund. Joyful, the three share a wondrous ride through the forest with Susan and Lucy clinging to Aslan's back. Their first stop is the witch castle, where Aslan restores the stone status into living creatures by breathing the breath of life into them. This new army made from the weakened creatures hastened toward the scene of the battle, but the rest of Aslan's armies fighting, arriving just as all hope seemed lost. With fresh reinforcements, the witch's evil army is quickly routed, and Aslan kills the White Witch in the thick of battle. Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy take their rightful places as king and queens of Narnia, and they justly reign for many peaceful years. As time passes, the children grow into adults, forgetting their former life in England. Yet one day they embark on a hunt for the fabled white stag, a creature said to grant wishes to whoever can capture it. The stag leads them back to the Olympus, where memories of their old world began to redden. They stumble out through the wardrobe door and find they are children once again. No time has passed in their own world. They confess all to the professor, who assures them that someday they will return to Narnia. For after all, he says, once a king in Narnia, always a king in Narnia.